The mansion had been transformed overnight. Black roses lined the grand staircase, their petals dark as midnight, interspersed with blood-red candles that cast dancing shadows across marble floors. Layana stood before the full-length mirror in a room that wasn't hers, not yet, staring at her reflection like it belonged to someone else. The dress Aleksander had sent was exquisite. Ivory silk clung to her curves before flowing into a dramatic train, the bodice adorned with delicate lace that looked almost ethereal. It was beautiful. It was a cage dressed in finery. "You look like a dream," whispered Maria, the elderly housekeeper who'd helped her dress. But her eyes held sadness, as if she knew what kind of dream this was, the kind you couldn't wake from. Layana's hands trembled as she touched the diamond necklace at her throat. It was cold against her skin, heavy with meaning. In 3 hours, she would become Mrs. Volkov, the wife of a monster. The queen of an empire built on blood. A sharp knock interrupted her spiraling thoughts. "It's time," came Dmitri's gruff voice from beyond the door. The ceremony was intimate, if one could call a room full of armed men and dangerous allies intimate. No priest would marry them under these circumstances, so Aleksander had brought in someone who owed him favors. Someone who wouldn't ask questions. Layana walked down the makeshift aisle on unsteady legs, her eyes finding Aleksander at the end. He stood tall in a black suit that emphasized his powerful frame, his wounded side giving him only the slightest stiffness. His dark eyes tracked her every movement like a predator watching prey approach willingly. When she reached him, he took her hand, his thumb stroking her knuckles possessively. The officiant's words blurred together. Layana heard herself speak vows that felt like surrender, watched Aleksander slide a ring onto her finger, a band of platinum with diamonds that glittered like tears frozen in metal. "You may kiss your bride." Aleksander's hand cupped her jaw, tilting her face up. His kiss was claiming, demanding, a promise of everything to come. Layana felt her knees weaken as he pulled her closer, the kiss deepening until she forgot to breathe. When he finally pulled back, his lips brushed her ear. "Mine," he whispered. "Finally, completely mine." The reception was brief. Aleksander accepted congratulations with impatient nods, his hand never leaving Layana's waist. She could feel the tension coiling in his body, the barely restrained intensity. "Enough," he finally announced, his voice cutting through the room. "My wife and I are retiring." Wife. The word sent shivers down her spine. He swept her into his arms despite his injury, carrying her through the halls as men whistled and called out. Layana buried her face against his chest, her heart hammering. The master bedroom, their bedroom now, was lit with dozens of candles. Rose petals covered the massive bed. It was romantic and terrifying all at once. Aleksander set her down gently, then locked the door with a definitive click. "Nervous, Mrs. Volkov." His voice was velvet darkness. "Terrified," she admitted. A slow smile curved his lips. "Good. You should be." He circled her slowly, like a wolf assessing its prey. "Do you know how long I've waited for this moment? How many nights I've lain awake, imagining having you in my bed, wearing my ring, carrying my name." Layana's breath hitched as he stopped behind her, his fingers finding the zipper of her dress. "Every single night," he whispered against her neck, his breath hot on her skin. The zipper lowered tortuously slow, each inch revealed making her heart race faster. "I've thought about unwrapping you like the most precious gift." The dress slipped from her shoulders, and his sharp intake of breath made her shiver. "Turn around," he commanded softly. She obeyed, facing him in nothing but delicate lace. His eyes darkened, traveling over every inch of her with an intensity that made her feel both exposed and worshipped. "You're trembling," he observed, stepping closer. "You make me nervous." "I make you excited," he corrected, his thumb tracing her racing pulse at her throat. "Your body knows what it wants, even if your mind is still catching up." His jacket fell away, then his shirt, revealing the muscled chest she'd tended to. The bandage on his side was a stark reminder of his mortality. Layana reached out, touching the healing wound gently. "Does it hurt?" He caught her hand, bringing it to his lips. "You're the only thing that hurts. The only thing I ache for." He kissed each fingertip slowly, deliberately, his eyes never leaving hers. "And tonight, I'm going to make you ache for me too." Before she could respond, he lifted her effortlessly, laying her back against the silk sheets. Rose petals scattered around them as he positioned himself over her, his weight settling between her thighs. "I need to hear you say it one more time," he murmured, his lips hovering over hers. "Tell me you want this." "Want me? I want you," she breathed. "God help me, Aleksander, I want you." His kiss was fire and possession, consuming her completely. His hands explored her body with reverent hunger, learning every curve, every sensitive spot that made her gasp. When his lips left hers to trail down her neck, Layana arched into him. "So responsive," he praised against her skin. "So perfect for me." His fingers traced patterns along her sides, her hips, her thighs, touching everywhere except where she needed him most. The anticipation was maddening. "Please," she whispered, not even sure what she was begging for. "Please what, little one?" His voice was dark amusement mixed with barely controlled desire. "Tell me what you want." I don't know," she